Hi, welcome to lesson 4 and my look at Indian rhythms applied to drum set and other percussion instruments. One of the questions I often get asked about Indian rhythm is about playing in odd time signatures, and one of the ways of working within Indian rhythms is applicable to all time signatures. So for example, if we're in 4/4, it could be divided 9/9/9/5, for example, or 9/9/5/9, adding up to 32 each time. There are lots of different ways to sort of divide and have the building blocks work within 4/4 and within a regular time signature. But of course, when you're thinking in that way, it's very easy to then work in odd time signatures by using those building blocks to make up different time signatures. So it's a great way of working and coming up with different ideas within lots of different time signatures that go across the rhythm and create interesting rhythmic patterns. I'm going to play a little piece on the tabla now, which is kind of divided up in lots of different ways. The whole thing is actually in 4/4 from beginning to end, but you'll hear how some of the rhythm is divided and split up into different length units. So let's move over to the kit and look at how we can employ some of those styles of playing within 4/4 to create different feels and different divisions. I'm going to start off with 3 groups of 9 and a group of 5, obviously adding up to 32. Now, with a lot of these groupings, obviously you could count the 9 takadimi takatakita, takadimi tatiketa tom, all of the 16th notes, but it's also very common in South Indian percussion to have rhythmic phrases for the groups instead of just counting off the 16th notes. So, for example, if you count at half the speed and make the last note half the length, then you'll get something that sounds like this. Ta, ti, ki, ta, tum, ta, ti, ki, ta, tum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ta, ti, ki, ta, tum, 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 ta. So it's kind of a more of a lyrical type of phrase. Similarly with the 5, tati keta tum, you can have a phrase, dim tag, dim tag, dim tag, dim tag, dim tag, dim tag, tag. So if we begin to look at the phrases now, we put those phrases together, 9, 9, 9, 5, we'd have this. But remember that we're in 4/4. Tati keta tum, tati keta tum, tati keta tum, dim tag, tati keta tum, tati keta tum, tati keta tum, dim tag, ta. So from there, now we've got the phrases, we can begin to employ, different phraseology on the drum set. So if we kind of think of it in a groove type way, we can approach the 9 like this. So I'm just following the contours of the rhythm with a simple bass and snare pattern. So let's make that into 4/4 by doing the 9, 9, 9, 5 as we started with. See, I'm just playing straight 8th notes on the hi-hat. And now with the click. You see, it's quite a sort of lyrical type of way to approach grooves, and I mean, you could even slip it in once in the middle of something, or make that a whole sort of pattern for a verse or chorus or something like that. So I'll just play some straight time, and I'll slip that in. Of course, you can also go on then to, approach a similar sort of thing with 16th notes. Of course, that's 9, 9, 9, 5, but of course we can move the 5 wherever we like. We could have 9, 5, 9, 9, for example, which would sound like this. We can then start looking at different units, such as 7 with the 9. So we obviously 7 and 9 is 16, so we could have 7799. So if we look at our next example, ta dim takata ta dim takata ta di kip ta tom ta di kip ta tom ta dim takata ta dim takata ta di kip ta tom ta di kip ta tom ta. It's a good idea. You can begin to, do it just with a quarter note bass drum and play the pattern on the snare drum. So there are numerous different ways you could approach it. Let's look at how we could do a groove with that. So for the 7, and we'll keep the 9 as it was. So let's have 7799. And then, of course, with 16ths. So you can begin to see it's a great way of coming up with alternative grooves and alternative approaches within 4/4. So there's lots of different variations, and obviously, the sky's the limit in terms of your own imagination in putting basic sums together that will add up to 16 or 32, or if you're in different time signatures, 14 or 28 or whatever. And you basically start to come up with grooves that are away from the standard, 2 and 4 on the snare, or following the contours of an odd time signature. So enjoy the material, and I'll see you for the next instalment very soon.